So here I am again with FTL. It's a brand new game that's, I guess, called roguelike, where when you go forward, if you die, and you have to start over. It's oppressively difficult. Here's your main screen. You have a ship list. Obviously, I haven't unlocked very many. They're kind of random to unlock, and you need a lot of things to go well when you're playing. So I like the Taurus. It's the second ship you unlock, and this is one of the few that's easy to unlock by just reaching the 5th area, I believe. Get some achievements you can do per ship. If you get 2 out of the 3 of them, you unlock a different type, but I like type A on this one, so that's what it looks like. Got a few weapons. It's got different crew members. These guys are engineers, and they get a bonus to repair speed, but they aren't good at fighting. Humans get no bonuses at all, but they also get no detractions. There's quite a few other aliens, and maybe we'll see some on the way. So let's go. I'm doing it on easy because normal I can't get past like the 3rd area, so it's pointless. All of the information you're given when you warp into a new area is in this first window, so it'll tell you if you're going to get in a fight or if you found a space station that can sell stuff to you or whatever. This is always the same. You need to bring some information to the Federation. So here we are. Your crew can man certain systems like shields, engines, or weapons. Also, you need a pilot unless you go into your ship and you can upgrade piloting, and that lets you get auto. That gives you autopilot, but you don't have as good evasion, so you usually want to have a pilot. So this is your jump map. You can only jump as much as the fuel you have, which is in the top left. It looks like a little quantum symbol. And yeah, let's just make a jump, see what happens. See, I lost a fuel. Okay, so this pirate is saying blah blah blah, give me some scrap, and I don't want to do that, I'm gonna kill him. You can pause the game anytime by pressing space. You're gonna launch some anti-ship drones and an ion blaster, which I like for the start of the game because it fires very fast and it disables their systems. So it doesn't actually do any hull damage, so the drone does that work for me. But the nice thing about the ion blaster is it knocks out their shields if it hits their shields, and it knocks out any of their subsystems if it hits their subsystems. Here you've seen they beam lasered me and it hit this part of my ship and it caught fire, so I have 2 options. I can either send some of my crew over to try and put out the fire and they'll get hurt, which isn't too bad in this ship because the passive is it heals crew members regardless of where they are on the ship as long as the medbay works. But since it's right at the corner here, it's just easier to open it and vent it to the space and it'll go out on its own. But you have to remember to close your door because you'll lose your oxygen, which is on the left side. So now the fire's out, just close the door and oxygen goes back up eventually. If you send crew members into this zone now, they'll take some damage. So a lot of enemies, when you beat them down, they try and surrender. Don't take surrender. It's usually they give you pretty much a pittance of what you can get by just killing them, unless you're about to die too. But generally, if you're about to die, you're gonna die anyway. So I got a little bit better of scrap. I got my drone part back, which is what you need to summon these anti-ship drones that I used, and some missiles, which I don't have any use for right now, but I might need later. Generally, you don't want to use your scrap right in the first area, because you might find a store where you can buy crew members or good weapons, and you want to stockpile it because you can get through the first area on your basic ship pretty easily. So now these slavers want my crew members, and I only have 3, so that's not gonna happen. So we'll fight them, see how that goes. Again, I like to put my ion blaster on their weapons because it'll knock out their shields if it hits the shields. So the drone gets free hits, and if I actually hit their weapon systems, then they get taken out. but after just a couple of hits, they're offering me a slave as tribute, which is pretty much the only time you want to actually accept somebody's offer, because the slaves, it gives you another crew member, and crew members are really good. So I'm gonna accept, and now I got a bug. And the bugs are cool, because bugs are good at fighting. It's mullet. I'm gonna ship crew. Mullet. So Mantis. Mantis, double damage in combat, 1.5 times movement speed, but they aren't very good at repairing, so they're really nice if you get boarded, because they, especially on this ship, since the ship heals you regardless of where you are. But as you can see, his repair speed is truly terrible. Send this engineer out, and it fixes it almost immediately. So now I have 4 crew members. I'm going to put him on weapons. So now all of my systems that can be manned are manned, which is good. Okay, let's try jumping here. I'm not going straight for the end, because the first area, you kind of want to farm it and see how much you can get, because everything's weak. And this is pretty basic. What you do, you just fight stuff. It's kind of slow in the beginning. If you rush through this area, you put yourself at a big disadvantage, because there's a lot of scrap and stuff you can find, and the enemies are really weak. Oh, I forgot to turn on auto fire. So now my drone bay is on fire. So I'm gonna send these 3 guys there, because it's not really near anywhere I can vent. And they're gonna put out the fire first and then repair it. So you can see they're healing now. Usually they'd be taking damage because they're on fire. So I lost my drone. And my ion blaster, I should have set to auto fire, but I didn't again. So I turned my drone back on. Send my crew back to where they were, and this fight will be over. Just there we go. So got some more scrap and fuel and stuff. This warning, you want to stay away from this, because if you get into it, it's pretty much game over at this point. It's the enemy fleet chasing you. So here I'm just looking at the stuff I could get. I could get a crew teleporter, which would be nice because you need one eventually. To unlock most of the other ships, you have to like send your crew over and recover one of the people on the enemy ship and then bring it back, but I don't have enough scrap. So I think I'm gonna fix here, because fixing gets more expensive later. Right now it's 2, it gets up to like 4 or 5. I'll pick up an anti-ship drone, which I can't use yet, but might as well. I'm gonna go this way. If you want to stay out of the warning, so now you'll see it's moving forward. If you warp to here now, this will move forward, and you get into this big fight with the cruiser that's really hard to kill. You pretty much die. Okay, so there's a distress beacon. I'm gonna go to that because, well, it's an encounter. Okay, asteroid belt, try and shield them. If I try and shield them, they'll probably just hurt my ship. This game is really unforgiving when you do stuff like this, so I'm gonna leave them to their fate, and they die. Oh, well, they lived, and they were mean, so I don't care. They were mad at me for not dying. Oh, now I'm in an asteroid belt, and I'm getting attacked, so it's the same thing I do every time. Oh, this thing circling the enemy is a defense drone, which can shoot down my missiles if I had any, or it also tries to shoot down the asteroids in this belt. And asteroids pretty much just hit your shields like lasers do, and they'll hit your ship and do damage, so they're kind of annoying. So this drone's just trying to take him out. So now they're powering up their FTL drives to try and escape. So I'm going to try and stop them. Their FTL drives, the thing at the bottom of their ship, and paired with the E, which is their driver. So if you don't have anybody driving, you usually can't make an FTL jump. But if your engines are out, you can't. So I'm going to set my ion blaster on their engines and hopefully